Let's face it, Dragon Ball content has not been the best lately. Fans who stopped keeping up with Dragon Ball after the anime ended may have it easy, but for others who kept up with Toyotaro's Dragon Ball Super manga, things are an absolute nightmare. Nothing shows that more clearly than the state of the Granola arc, which finally ended just a few days ago after dragging on for a mind-numbing 20 months. But our topic today is not the mess of the Dragon Ball Super manga. Instead, we're here on a good occasion, to celebrate the absolute win that is Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And while the movie has its fair share of shortcomings, today we will be focusing on the best that this movie had to offer, and the impact that it has had on the franchise as a whole. If you have not yet seen Dragon Ball Super Superhero, be warned. This video contains spoilers for the entire movie. Without further ado, let's begin. What makes this movie stand out amidst the others in the last decade is that this one feels a lot like Dragon Ball. And when I say Dragon Ball, I don't mean your stereotypical big-muscled men screaming and shooting colors out of their hands. I mean Dragon Ball as it once was, way back before the gigantic fights and power-ups of Dragon Ball Z became the flagship ideas of the franchise. Superhero is a return to the comedic, adventurous roots of Dragon Ball. It's fun, it's funny, it doesn't take itself too seriously. And yet it has heart, with a climax that has you emotionally invested once again. It's a departure from the latest Dragon Ball content in that it's not just another fight against this week's strongest in the universe, but rather a story that has everything. A goofy-ish villain from the past, interesting, lovable character dynamics that we have been sorely lacking, an emotionally charged climax, and an amazing fight to boot. Toriyama's investment in the story is evident, and frankly it feels like the first piece of Dragon Ball content he's enjoyed in a while. It really feels like the roots of what Dragon Ball always was. In addition to all of that, it possesses one trait I greatly appreciated: self-awareness. It's been a while since Dragon Ball has had any proper self-awareness, but here it delivers on it in full, a result of the movie not taking itself too seriously. Superhero does things with the characters which serve to flesh out the world and fill up plot holes in a way that is both comedic and satisfying. For instance, Gohan's eyesight improving when he transforms, hence him not needing his glasses. Saiyan's suddenly having a growth spurt, hence Goten and Trunks' delayed growth. This and so many more establish the movie as very relaxed and down-to-earth. It is self-aware and delivers on questions and desires the fans have had for ages, in a manner that does not take itself too seriously at all. What sets Superhero apart from the rest of the franchise is that for once in a long time, it is not the Goku and Vegeta show. It is not another struggle to find out who is the strongest. On the contrary, it is character-focused. Most of all, the movie has heart. Every line of dialogue gives depth to our beloved characters, depth that has been sorely lacking for a long time. To a degree, it establishes them as everyday people, not just fighting machines yearning for their next big bout of combat. And yes, that was a Goku diss.
Hey, it's me, Goku!
Instead, they are fully fleshed out individuals. Gohan's focus on the family life is more highlighted, and for once we actually see more of his work and research. We learned that just like his father, he grew to be obsessed. But rather than with fighting, it was with his studies and education. And just like Goku, he had begun treading the path of familial negligence in the favor of his obsession. Gohan has never felt so real. We've always been told he'd abandoned fighting in the favor of studying, but we've never been shown how far that had gone or the actual results of something like that. Meanwhile, Piccolo is back again as the wise mentor figure that we all know and love. No longer does he stand in the background and watch the fight. We see that he is calm and capable and can deal with issues on his own instead of waiting for the famous Saiyan duo. His wit and resourcefulness is also displayed in full as we see him disguise himself to infiltrate the Red Ribbon Army's headquarters. And his gentle, caring nature is once again emphasized in Dragon Ball's best relationship, the father-son bond that is Piccolo and Gohan, now with the extra added layer of Pan. The once great Demon King Piccolo is now a gentle caretaker, babysitter, and instructor. And yet his cool factor never wavers. He is still the powerful, calm, collected tactician that everyone respects. And as far as that aforementioned bond goes, it's nice to see the relationship develop even further. Throughout the movie, as Gohan unlocks his new power and opens up to his responsibilities as one of Earth's heroes, we can see that he never lost his desire to impress his former mentor. There's something so ultimately satisfying seeing him pull off that special beam cannon towards the end of the movie. Gohan even says he's been practicing it for a while, and that is in itself the culmination of their relationship. Gohan has never forgotten his mentor's lessons and still to this day heeds his word and advice, even perhaps training in secret to perfect Piccolo's signature attack. It is heartwarming to see this duo openly display this respect and affection that we know has always lived between them. It re-emphasizes what I believe is Dragon Ball's best, most well-developed relationship. Pan herself is also a great addition in the movie. Instead of a typical damsel in distress, she is instead fully capable of dealing with the Red Ribbon Army's goons, but is merely along for the ride to help her uncle Piccolo re-unlock her father's potential. She's fun, curious, and strong, reminiscent of Goku from the original Dragon Ball, but smarter. We also get to see the rest of the Dragon Gang in action. Krillin, 18, Goten, Trunks. It's nice to see that the large cast of colorful Dragon Ball characters is remembered for once, and it feels like all of them have something to actually do, and a personality that goes beyond "I helped in the fight," despite their brief appearances. To a degree, even Goku and Vegeta felt like more. Goku is back in a mentor role of sorts, training Broly to unlock his full potential. Vegeta, on the other hand, is once again learning from his past, opting for meditation as opposed to traditional sparring. And by the end of the movie, his victory against Goku in their sparring session is a moment of pure ecstasy to his fans, no matter how small. It is a sign of some sort of progression. Even Beerus has some form of development. We now know the type of chicks he's into. I'll admit, before I'd seen the movie, I'd done my best to avoid spoilers, though there was one thing I could not escape, a name that brought dread to my soul: Cell Max. While a lot of us feared the return of Cell and some horrible fan-servicey bastardization, luckily what we got was a lot more suitable. The Hirudegarn-like kaiju that was Cell Max was the perfect villain for this story. In essence, it is a villain that has an emotional connection to our characters. We all remember the Cell saga and its wait for Gohan. We all know that Gohan, seeing Cell again, would awaken things within him, whether he likes it or not. It is a memory of a struggle he will never forget, a challenge that made him into the man he is today. On the other hand, while Cell Max preserves the emotional core and significance that the Cell saga had for Gohan, he does not reinvent the character in some half-assed manner. We don't get a reincarnation of the intelligent, sophisticated savage that was Perfect Cell. The movie doesn't have time for such a villain either way. To a degree, the movie doesn't have time for any fully fleshed out villain. The focus instead is on our heroes. Any time taken to bring in a fancy schmancy revival of Cell would have taken away from the development of the movie's stars, Gohan and Piccolo. Moreover, another reason why this monstrous, unthinking reincarnation of Cell is perfect for this movie is that it is generally the perfect villain for Gohan. We know that for the most part Gohan possesses the biggest heart amongst the Saiyans. He's not prone to violence, but rather for the most part avoids it. As not so far back as the Tournament of Power, we saw that he disliked hurting people who don't deserve being hurt. And thus, what could be more suitable than a non-talking, non-sentient giant meat bag like Cell Max? It is the perfect archetype for Gohan's rage to be unleashed upon. There is no humanity there for Gohan to take pity upon or sympathize with. It is just a monster, and thus it is completely suitable for Gohan to unleash his entire wrath, restriction-free, and to finally explode with his own limitless potential. On the other hand, villains like Magenta are a sweet ode to the past. He is kind of silly, and a reminder of a force that for the most part can no longer be a threat. Goku bodied the entire Red Ribbon Army as a kid. Right now they don't stand much of a chance. Magenta is an exaggerated, mustache-twirling, anger-issue-having evil villain, which is a nice change of pace from more serious antagonists. On the other hand, Dr. Hedo is quite the interesting antagonist. He has an actual personality, one that also fits the fun, self-aware tone of the movie. He is a mastermind, one that is obsessed with superheroes. In addition, he is somewhat morally grey, agreeing to help Magenta with his plans just so he can secure some funding to further his own research. Yet he is no villain, as he is at the end of the day a fan of being a superhero and of superheroes everywhere. And when the time eventually came, he did his best to stop the return of Cell Max. It's kind of a cute, fun, Toriyama-esque villain, which I personally really loved, and the kind of character whose redemption at the end of the movie felt earned and welcomed. I think that moving forward, his quirky personality will make a great addition to Bulma and the rest of the behind-the-scenes members of the Dragon Team. Dragon Ball Super Superhero is a breath of fresh air. It is something we've needed for a long, long time, delivering on every favorable aspect of Dragon Ball. Action, adventure, comedy, quirky characters, amazing fights. It has it all. It's a love letter to the franchise and to fans everywhere. It has something for every Dragon Ball fan. If you haven't seen it, I urge you to do so soon. This is a step in the right direction for this franchise, one it desperately needs. And the good news is, fans everywhere seem to like it, which will maybe encourage both Toei and Toriyama to continue upon this path moving forward. And maybe we'll have more good stuff like this, at least enough to take away from the shit show that is the manga. I have many more thoughts concerning this movie, but for the sake of keeping this video under half an hour long, I'll stick to only this. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you for making it this far into the video. If you've enjoyed this dive, give me a like maybe. Maybe leave a comment telling me what you thought about the movie. Maybe I'll see you again in a future video. That was a lot of fucking maybes. Okay, thank you again, take care.